Welcome to Retro Spectacles. I am Mitch Marzoni, and with me, as always, a man who is ready to stare deep into the black mirror as it also stares back into him, Mr. Teddy Tutson. How are you today, sir?
You know, man, I am thrilled to be staring at the abyss while it stares back at me, as you so eloquently put it. Going deep on a show that, as we discussed, maybe solidified our friendship at an early stage as both creative partners. And truly, I remember the gap between you telling me, man, this super depressing ass, dark ass show, you got to see this. This has got you all over it. And, there are a few times like that in life that happen. The other one that I can remember is the homie Greg Ortiz, shout out, in middle school when he saw Dave Chappelle killing him softly, and he was like, you gotta come home with me and watch this comedy special. This dude is you, son. Like, this guy, you guys are doing this. Right. So, it's nice to be seen by the people in your life and also be seen by the black mirror constantly looking back at you.
Yeah, this is definitely the first one, and going to be probably one of the very few where I don't have to ask you, where did you hear about? How did you come to find out about?
Where were you when you? I said, well, I actually was sitting across from you in your bedroom in Hollywood, talking at length at the studio, roofing it up.
Not my bedroom, but yeah. I remember.
Yeah, the studio. Excuse me, the converted bedroom.
Yeah.
I suppose the other description makes it seem,
Yeah, I invited him into the bedroom to talk about Black Mirror.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all things do.
So I'm pretty sure I happened upon this just by virtue of watching some Charlie Brooker clips here and there, screen wipe that he did.
Yeah.
Which, folks at home, if you haven't ever looked at it, there's two clips in particular absolutely worth your time. One short one, you can just type screen wipe Doug Stanhope America. In fact, you might even just be able to do Doug Stanhope screen wipe. He makes a few appearances, but the best one is his brief rant about America. It's a pro-America. It's a very 4th of July speech.
250 in the building. Shout out.
Yeah. I appreciate it. I was like, I appreciate that a British fella was like, yeah, this Doug Stanhope guy's a lunatic. Let me put him on camera, let him rant for a few minutes.
It truly is a, if you're just talking about raw comedic talent, right? You're like, hey, I don't want this. I can't have this guy be a showrunner. He's not going to necessarily be responsible, but can he just do a tight 5-minute rant about why America works, directed to a bunch of Brits? Sure, absolutely. Perfect casting.
Yeah.
Fastball right down the middle. Can't hit it.
Yeah, you almost never can hire Doug Stanhope for anything.
No, absolutely.
He
except for this soapbox. I have a soapbox. Or in this case, I have a recliner in the middle of a road.
In Bisbee, Arizona. Yeah.
Who would like to sit in it and tempt fate? Doug. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. He famously, Doug Stanhope, I mean, not Brooker, but Doug Stanhope famously took over for the Man Show after Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel, along with one Joe Rogan, and it was quickly canceled when those two were in charge. Who's to say which one's more at fault? I'm going to guess Doug Stanhope.
I think I would put my money on Stanhope. I would put my money on,
Anyway, getting off of that, the other episode to watch, it was post Black Mirror, and it's the last screen wipe he did, was 2016 year in review. He would do these year in review things for screen wipe, and the last one he did was for 2016. What a year to go out on. And as an American, watching the last 20 minutes of it is prophetic, and it's an interesting look at, it's like remembering, there was sanity. Like, we hadn't all, like, everywhere lost our fucking minds. And it was nice to see Brooker still being like, yeah, Brexit is fucking nuts. 2016 for people forgetting if they're just thinking about Trump and Hillary. That was also the Brexit year. And in
crazy
both cases, they kind of paralleled,
Yeah, crazy to think
his thing.
that Brexit is. I mean, the actual Brexit took place in 2020, right? But all the sort of foundation for that stuff starting in 2016.
The vote,
and it's,
the big vote.
It's wild to think of, the actual like leaving of it, right? But it's a decade of this stuff. And that's insane to think that it's been a decade of Brexit. And I feel like everything that I've read as a Yank, resoundingly not great for the Leave folks. Complete catastrophe. I don't think it bodes well for the kingdom, United Kingdom, Great Britain, whatever it is, when every time I see an article about post-Brexit life, they comparing y'all to Mississippi, and not favorably in terms of quality of life.
Wow.
That's all I'll say.
Okay. Well, it's interesting in that particular screen wipe because he says the same thing basically twice, where he's like looking at the polls, and the polls, if you remember pre-Brexit, the polls were like, that's not going to happen. No one's going to vote for that. And he's like, well, nothing left to do here. Better just wrap up, go to bed, get a nice night's sleep. I'm sure it'll all be fine in the morning. And then it smash cuts the next morning. Brexit, they voted to leave. And he's like, ugh. And then he does the same thing later in the episode with Trump. And he's like, there was all those scandals that I've forgotten because he's nothing but scandals. But there was all those leading up to Billy Bush tape and so on and so forth. Where he's like, well, he's cooked now. If he wasn't cooked before, he's definitely
I'd like
cooked
to see
now.
old Donnie Trump wriggle himself out of this jam. Okay, yes. Another
he has the same,
tweet.
I went, nothing left to see here. Time to go to bed. And he's like, does the smash cut to Donald Trump has been elected. And he's like, So interesting to watch in today, even still watch that episode. But that's largely where I knew. Also, for folks who are Netflix addicts and like British comedy, he's got his little mitts all over the place. For example, Philomena Kunk on Life, Kunk on Art. I love those. I love British humor, so they're right up my alley. But Philomena Kunk was a screen wipe character that she created for his show, and he was like, "Oh, do something with it." The man knows talent.
Hey man, I got that Netflix thing. He said, Ted, hey, they don't all have to be so bleak.
Yeah. I've got this panned, just like, what's the word I'm looking for? Monotone.
Yeah, deadpan.
Deadpan, monotone, borderline. It's like, did she just land on Earth, or is she dumb?
You really don't know. She plays it very well. There's the delivery there where it feels uncanny valley, in a very pronounced fashion, I think I'm curious though, because obviously
I will briefly say my personal favorite Philomena Kunk line is in the Art series when she's talking about Leonardo da Vinci.
He knew how to perspective the fuck out of things. Look at the angles of the walls in The Last Supper and the table there. You almost feel like you could crawl inside it and betray Jesus yourself.
Just fantastic the way. Anyway, you were saying.
What I was saying is, with the first episodes of Black Mirror 2011, and this coming on your radar and then transferring over to my radar, what I think is noteworthy for me looking back is this was sort of real time, right? In 2011, we were really starting to hang out more. And I feel like it was within that 2011, 2013 cycle between series 1 and series 2 that you were like, hey, man, you got to check this out. Right? Like it had not made its way to Netflix yet, because you had sort of the wave of people who were finding about it through, evidence like you were already familiar with Brooker, and then various sort of, message boards online, et cetera, right? And then you've got the next wave of the Netflix stuff when a lot of people discover Black Mirror, obviously, and it makes its way to the States. But I do want to make sure the streets of the retrospect audience give you credit that Mitch had his fingers on the pulse before the algorithm.
Every once in a while.
Before Ted was signing them checks over, all right?
So they were available on YouTube. And I remember hearing that the second series was coming, and I was like, well, where the fuck? It better be back on YouTube again.
Right.
Because I think I had to pirate the second season because it wasn't on YouTube. We the third one, what you're talking about, what I introduced Teddy to, and we'll get to it in the next episode, was the White Christmas special, which I immediately pirated because there was no way to catch that. And I got the day after it aired, somebody uploaded like a really high quality copy, and I pirated that shit, put it on my own Dropbox, and I mean, I would go to parties and be like, "You guys have got to see this."
Yeah.
And I put it on my Dropbox and like sent Teddy. I was like, "Teddy, you got to watch this." I think I sent you like 3 or 4 times because I was like, "Hey, you watched that thing yet?"
There was an urgency to it that I'm saying I want to make sure you get your credit for. It was truly, where a work of art and a viewer and someone, hey man, this guy's got to see this. You gotta. I will say, the man could not have been more accurate on my affinity for Black Mirror and everything that the series represents, right? With Brooker and Annabelle Jones, who's the EP, right? Because they both did the thing at Netflix together. And so I think that to me was fascinating in the sense of watching Black Mirror kind of unfold in real time, and then being aware of some of these things. And then by the time you get to stuff like, David Cameron and his stuff or whatever, right? Like Black Mirror, sort of the prophetic element to it, where it was like, what is happening here? How are you able to be so anticipatory about how bleak life can be? I joke with my wife that a phrase that I say a lot, especially currently right now, but it's one of my favorite scenes from The Simpsons when Bart goes, "Oh man, this is the worst day of my life," and Homer's like, "Worst day of your life so far." And it's the idea that it can always be worse, right? It can, one thing that you can bank on in life is that it can always be worse. That's an adage that your boy lives by. Shocker. I'm sure that's very shocking to you as a listening audience, viewing audience, however you're consuming this. But that just to give you a little background on how this came to Mitch's and being like, no, this guy absolutely has to be Black Mirror pilled. And so what I love about the show is that truly it walks the walk and talks the talk of, no, it could actually always be worse. It could be so much worse.
So many episodes are, look at this awesome tech. Wouldn't you hold on before you say yes?
Now I will say, I want to also, since we're, doing this, it also reminds me of, our pal, Alex Mandelberg, who one time described my stand-up comedy as the following of me being like, hey, here's this thing that seems pretty normal, right? That's actually incredibly depressing. Well, it's not that depressing, is it? No, it's actually incredibly unrelentingly depressing. Yeah, kind of normal? No. Very depressing. All right, thank you, good night. And I was like, well, damn, son. And so if you can't, again, tell that, this is a show that just, again, right up my alley, that is how I see things. And I think one of the funniest things about Black Mirror, which is, ostensibly not necessarily funny, but came out, I mean, it's there, but it was the fact that, this was supposed to be, this came out of the comedy budget. For the comedy department for Channel 4. Like, it's just, it's so perfect that they were like, hey, all right, go and make, and you're like, wow, okay.
It deserves it more, if I may. It deserves it more than fucking The Bear. Which upsets me every year. The Emmys come around, and they're like,
you put The Bear
and in comedy, and you're like, motherfucker.
Yeah, I would.
Look,
I think the bear has transgressed over to drama.
If I were a more regular tweeter, I think I would every week that there's a new bear episode, I would probably just tweet, now what a laugh riot that episode was, huh, kids? Like, what the fuck?
That's your bugaboo. I did not realize that you. I will say I do agree.
It's like, look, man, you're a drama show, okay? Sometimes it's funny, like
you're a drama,
dark. You're a
funny,
drama, but you're
drama.
Yeah, but heavy on the draw, little on the
heavy on the draw. Yeah,
yeah. The Madi, if you will.
Yeah, dramedy. You got to really enunciate it. Yeah, dramedy. Good to know. Good to know where you're at.
You wanted to make sure the people at home, in case they didn't know, where Black Mirror, the title comes from, beyond just the Arcade Fire song, but what he means by it.
Of course. Yes. Yes, obviously, it is the switched off device, TV, phone, monitor, tablet, screen of choice, right? And that, obviously, Black Mirror works well. It's a very dystopian title. Just feels very fitting in terms of vibes, if you will. Yeah. But also, if you were not aware, there is an actual tactical reason for the show's title and all the thematic things that run throughout. So, spoiler.
One of my sister's in-laws, so I don't know if that counts as one of my in-laws. She was for sure that, it takes its inspiration, as you know, from the Twilight Zone. And in the introduction of some of the Twilight, because there was various intros, but in one of them, there is a black mirror. And she was like, this is the show that goes into that mirror instead of zooming out or something like that. And I was like, that's
interesting.
That's a really interesting theory. It's not correct, but it's an interesting theory. I mean, I love it.
Absolutely. That's like, I do enjoy when directors come out when people have wild theories about movies, and sometimes politely, respectfully, but not really, where they're like, absolutely not. That is so wrong. I'm so sorry. I cannot entertain this bullshit. I can't hear y'all talk on this no more. You're wrong. You are wrong. You can dissect everything else about the show, whatever. But this right here, dead ass wrong.
Now, I'm into the death of the artist as far as the meaning of various art. I love subscribing to the theory of the death of the artist, which is the art means what means to you, with some exceptions. Basically, anything the alt-right thinks art is, they're wrong. But shy of that, I largely think death of the artist. And I appreciate, for example, there's a Netflix series about music or about specific songs. I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but you've probably seen it. But they do an episode with Trent Reznor about Hurt. And the guy drills him over and over again about, like, what about this line here? What about that? Was this, and he's like, it means too much to too many people.
Yeah. That I'm not gonna,
like, he knows. Yeah. He's like, fuck you. Death of the artist. Like, what it means to you, what it got you through in your bedroom at 15 or fucking last week, after a breakup or a death or a suicide attempt or drug overdose or whatever it is, that's you. I'm not, you know what I mean? And that's smart. It would truly ruin the song to be like, no, it's actually about let the people have it. So in that regard, I if you were doing the kind of interpretive art, do you feel like you'd be like, no, this means that? Fuck all.
I think I would be hard pressed sometimes. Like, I love a good ambiguous ending, but I also feel like there's a clear through line. Like, Inception's a great one, right? Like, is it ambiguous? Technically, sure. But is it also not, though? Yes, it's not. It's ambiguously definitive to me. And so y'all would need to keep me off the press tour if you didn't want me to really. Y'all got like 3 months of discussing this shit. and y'all better send me somewhere where I can't be on the fucking grid to read this bullshit. Because, hey, y'all better, you know what I'm saying? So I would love to tell you, yeah, man, that's whatever you want it to be. I'm practicing that shit in the mirror real.
And not in a black mirror. Although I guess every mirror is.
Yeah. In February they are.
I think that part of me goes, well, yes, but the inspiration that led to the thing is, there's that, you know what I mean? There's that sort of element where it's like,
sure,
you may have intended this, but in the deep seated somewhere, you may have not realized you also said this.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes it do be like that. You think it like this, but it's really like that. People
don't think it be like it is, but it do.
I think also before we dive into specific episodes, take a step back, right? Sure. We're going full hog Black Mirror. Yes, pun intended. You're welcome. We'll see what happens. So that's the idea of walking through Black Mirror over these next few episodes, giving it the same level of dedication and care that we gave the Toy Story franchise.
If not more.
If not more. Well, I don't know if we're going to have the same emotional journey.
No, probably not.
With Black Mirror. Mitch is not going to reach deep down into the inner child and have numerous Ratatouille moments.
I did get emotional during this rewatch, actually. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So we'll get into that. My last little pre-watch note when I was sitting down to think about Black Mirror is that, like the Twilight Zone, you can largely, and feel free to check me on this, you can largely categorize any given episode into one of two camps, which is either, well, this is kind of your fault, and it sucks. You know what I mean?
This is kind
like,
of
so I'm gonna kind of check on myself throughout.
Okay.
Like certain episodes, you go, well, that's kind of your fault, and then other ones you're like, that sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's a pretty fair dichotomy. I'm thinking about the 6 that we have here.
I've looked at. I've done the math on all of them. So
I'm sure you have. Have. Okay. I think, obviously, look, let's just get right into it. The National Anthem.
Yeah.
This is one. I'm curious because I could honestly see this going on either side of the ledger. So I'm curious how you classify this one.
This one is, it sucks. Yeah. This one's just like, there's one of
this is not kind of your fault. This is not a kind of your fault one, huh?
No. So a community forum that I've been on for years and years and years, you know it well, I've talked about it a million times, Metafilter, is probably how I came to know about Brooker and Black Mirror, almost certainly through Metafilter. But they have an advice Ask Me-Fi section, and they use a lot of acronyms. And one of them is ESH. It's like, is this your fault? This is their fault. ESH is everybody sucks here. Which has transferred over to Reddit's Am I the Asshole? Or as I like to call it, What Am I, an Asshole? And they also use ESH in there, where it's like, hey, am I the asshole? This thing happened. And it's like, well, everybody sucks here. And the National Anthem very, very firmly goes into everybody sucks here.
Yeah,
I think.
I mean,
if we're starting just as a broad statement for this episode, everybody sucks here.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. All right. I mean, that's fair. I mean, I think this one definitely isn't your fault in the sense that you are the prime minister and you're just sort of handed a shit sandwich. You got no real choice but to save the princess because respectfully, they don't give a fuck about you. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta get the royal, son. You can't not do that. It's a great premise. It's first of all, if you're just walking through, how do you get to the climax of the episode, right? What you need something very big to facilitate that.
You need something outside of government. Right?
Yes.
You can't have like a political thing where it's like, oh, we vote this way or that way. This is everybody agrees. You can't just let the princess get killed. Sorry.
Yeah. And I think
even if you're not a fan of the royals, even if you think royal family, blah blah. All right, but you can't be killing royals. We can't just let them.
You can't. Yeah, especially the children
slaughtered.
Yeah. Especially. Yeah, you can't. None of that's gonna happen. I think the other thing that's so fascinating about this episode now, goodness gracious, almost 15 years later, is at its core, right? It is so much about not just humiliation, excuse me, but the public's appetite for humiliation. Yes. And obviously we're talking specifically about the British public, but hey, it's an interconnected, globalized world, baby. So when
Twitter plays such a huge role in it. And
it is fascinating
it's very of its time. It's not a future episode. It's very of its time. But I mean, it could today, kind of minus the Twitter.
It is kind of.
But the story essentially is not. Is it not that the story is essentially media circus? How does a media circus unfold? What do we as a public do with that? How does it affect those involved, et cetera, et cetera? This is the perfect
how are we
storm
presenting
for a media circus.
Yeah. How do we, and again, I think, even the fact of like, okay, how do we do this fabricated backup thing? I mean, think about how many fucking goobers are still out there talking about faking the moon landing and all that kind of shit, right? We still got people getting punched out by astronauts in the fucking hallways when y'all coming at Buzz Aldrin and shit like that. And so, I think
Mr.
all
Aldrin.
of it, right? I think all of that shit is, it's so fascinating to see something that is very current, but also there are certain things that are, I won't say dated, but not necessarily derogatory, right? But I think when you look back, I think it might be hard for some people who are younger to understand with Twitter and all of these micro feeds now kind of just imbued in large scale events, right? How still new it was to see public opinion be so malleable and in real time, right? And then to see government officials reacting to coming up with, incredibly stupid plans that end up, blowing up in their face.
Twitter was at the time an eyeglass on the monoculture.
Right. Yes. When it was still in its sort of, twilight.
If you wanted to know the temperature of the room on any given topic, Twitter was your guy.
Yeah. And you could see things shift though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you could see things shift. And I think, this is also the era of, for those who remember, right? Old girl Justine, who said the wild shit, and then she jumped on the plane.
Just about talking about the AIDS tweet. Yeah, the famous AIDS tweet.
Yeah, right. And then, now that you're talking about a public opinion that was shaped literally while she's flying, a kind of brand new phenomena, a hashtag being spawned, right? Has Justine landed yet? Because you're now anticipating the next cycle of it. And that shit was completely new. And I think that's what is amazing about Black Mirror is that it's able to synthesize sort of past, present, and future, right?
Yeah.
In a really incredible, poignant way that doesn't feel really even going back and looking at it like, damn, y'all were really far off the mark, right? I think the thing that it does great is it doesn't pull its punches. It looks at a situation, it builds that premise, right? And then it just plays it kind of straight all the way through. As absurd as it seems for the prime minister to fuck a pig, it isn't that crazy though when you got 4 years later David Cameron having a scandal because your boy put his dick in a fucking, whatever it was, in a pig's head.
Yeah.
You're right. You got an actual thing.
Yeah.
Your man's out here doing skull and bone shit, and you're like, what you mean? What you mean you fucking the pig head? What? Voluntarily?
We saw that episode.
They didn't force. Yeah, this man had to begrudgingly do it, right?
The two things I wrote down that I wrote down as quaint is when Twitter meant something. I kind of miss those days. And then the other one is like, some part of me goes, is this not also a story about chasing the polls and like, what will a man do to stay on top of the polls? And how quaint politicians used to feel shame.
Yeah, truly a level of political culture. Although, I got to say, in Britain, when you look at some of the stuff that happens over there, it's fascinating because it's very different than the U.S., but it does feel like there is still some degree of shame in British political culture in a way
I think it's the fact that they can just,
lacking.
It feels like, I realize this is not the reality, but ignorant American looking at British politics every once in a while, you're like, so you guys just get to call a dude and go, hey, we're done with that guy. And they're like, okay, we're done with that.
Real fascinating.
Like, they've had 47 prime ministers since Brexit. I swear to God, it's like every week. It's crazy. The one lady outlast a lettuce. A head of lettuce outlasted that one lady. Yeah. Liz Truss, I think it was. It's like,
Liz Truss.
It's like, wait, so you could just, oh God, what I'd give if we could just be like, hey, I think we're fucking done with this guy. I'm through with this guy.
We'll get to this. We will get to this one, for sure, jumping ahead here. But to your point about, the politics of it all, I think crazy to me that one of the supposedly weaker episodes, right, even by Brooker's own admission, the Waldo episode, is incredibly poignant because you've got Count Benface happening right now in the UK, and we'll get into it more later. But there's a guy who's running as a dude named, Count Benface, and we have a real life fucking Waldo situation. Right? Yeah, he's got a garbage can. So he's got a whole thing. It's not even his first rodeo. He's done this several times. He used to be Lord Buckethead. Okay, man's, new to he's true to this, not new to this. But those are the things where it's like, if even what you would point to, like, we didn't really necessarily nail it with that one. You're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like if you're looking back and you're like, that was a little off the mark, and I'm like, dog, I would hate to see what you think inaccuracy looks like, because this is incredibly fucking
like, how many times does Sam Altman watch Black Mirror and bust out the notepad? You know what I'm saying?
Look, I don't.
He's like, now that's an idea, huh?
Yeah, right. Well, truly, I don't know how we're doing this, if we're just jumping around through episodes or not here, but
I prefer not to do too much jumping, but it's fair.
That's what I'm saying.
A fair call to the Waldo thing.
Yeah,
we are going to
discuss it in
this episode.
The other thing is, I think in some of these, not just the Sam Altmans, but I feel like there are multiple times where you're just looking at a moment and you're like, yeah, man, y'all was really interested in Silicon Valley watching Black Mirror and being like, that's a fucking business model, though. Didn't see... Y'all didn't see that.
If you just watch the first 20 minutes of a given episode, you're like, this tech is all right. Let's get to coding. No. Wait another half hour.
Do you ever finish these joints? Like, do you just, are y'all just doing the TikTok watching little snippets of shit? No, it didn't exist.
It doesn't end with, and it all worked out for the best, right? You realize that's not the end of any Black Mirror episode.
I think the other thing that's crazy to me about, like I was saying, like on the shame thing for the British public, the reason I say that specifically is when you look at the reaction in the United States and Britain with Epstein associations coming out.
Yes, absolutely.
There are real political consequences. There is real political gravity. Yeah. I mean, you have seen public officials losing titles, dethroning a princess. People are losing their jobs. There's actual real
over like I knew a guy who knew a guy who mentioned him in an email, and it's like you got to go. Over here, we're like,
but that sounds bad. Like they out here running PSAs like it's a damn animal shelter trying to get people to fuck Congress. They got Epstein victims out here doing shit. Like, why we got to work so hard? Why we got to work so hard for y'all to feel shame?
I think there's an element of geography as far as like limited space. Like you could walk to the House of Commons from your apartment. You know what I mean? If you're, you know what I mean? Like, that's a long way to DC, and I can't get anywhere near the White House. You know what I'm saying? Like, it surprises me how often you watch these interviews with like the PM's going to speak, and he just comes out of an apartment, walks out in the street.
Yeah, he just comes out of a little townhouse, and you're just like, hey,
like where's your like 12,000 dudes who won't let anybody get within a mile of this? They're like, no, shoot him. We'll replace him tomorrow. Like they're disposable around here. Did you not know that? Like,
I mean, it's just so fascinating to me because, right, you go through kind of the whole spectrum of the episode of the public getting exactly what they want, right?
Yes.
And then being absolutely horrified as they have to stare and watch. Again, it is on the other side of the pond, but there is a direct connection between a shitload of people who forgot who Donald Trump actually is and pulled that fucking lever for him and have spent the last year staring out a window like Joe Bluth going, I've made a huge mistake. And right? Like, oh, this is going to be great. The vibes are great. This is great. Like, no, it is actually probably pretty terrible to watch a grown man suffer through fucking a pig on national television, even if he's doing it with a sense of civic pride to save a young girl's life. This is one of my favorite shows on TV. It's called Extracted. You heard about this. It's on Fox. They take people. It's like a trio, right? You got a person who's out in the wilderness. They trying to do the, hey, I'm out here, doing my survival shit, right? But then you got two people, family members, they at the headquarters. And at any given point in time, they can push that button to extract you, but they might just leave your ass out there because, hey, big dog, he was talking that talk. You know what I mean? Like one lady's out there with her husband and she's, it's him and his grandfather, right? And she tried to prove to him that she could start a fire, that she could be a wife. You know what I mean? She can't start shit. She can't do nothing. She is failing miserably. And this husband is sitting in the headquarters being like, you raggedy. Like he is like, you know what I'm saying? But this is what you want. This is your life. This is what you signed up for, right? And so one of the most fascinating moments to me is early on in like episode 1. One of the people in the headquarters who's watching people, y'all out here watching people in the woods suffering, miserable. They don't know, they ain't got no blankets and shit. He goes, when does this get fun? Brother, it ain't never gonna be fun.
It's the headline for America. It's for all of 2026. Yeah, that's what I'm
saying. Exactly. Y'all signed up. Hey, it's gonna be great. We doing this. He fucking the pig. Oh shit.
Yeah.
When does this get fun? It ain't never gonna be fun.
I was at an event recently. I ran into an old friend I hadn't seen in a while, fellow comedian of all things, and he was like, "Yeah, these just aren't. I haven't been to one of these in a while. It's just not as fun as they used to be." And I was like, "Who's having any fun?" And he goes, "Oh." But yes, the quintessential. What I had written down is the quintessential. The moment where it went from like wacky idea, where are they going with this, to like, oh shit, rubber meets the road of reality. And it's a Brooker, it's a Brooker stamp. I mean, it's classic Brooker. Is when they're all in the pub and they're jeering and they're mocking, yeah, fuck that pig. And he takes his pants off and their fucking faces when they're like, oh, he's got to fuck a pig. Like, what would a
He's got to do it.
Or they're going to kill the prince. Oh, Jesus. And but not a peep. they're all fucking dead quiet. The dude that was sitting in bed all day tweeting, fucking hollering, he's like everybody's silent. Like
right.
We're about to see. We're about to see the thing that doesn't get brought up, and I put it in my notes, and then we'll get to it in just a minute. But right off the bat, I feel like it has to be acknowledged because anybody that talks about this episode, I never hear this word come up or this phrase. This is sexual assault. 100% this is sexual assault.
Yes.
It's never recognized as that for some fucking reason. This is
in the direction
unwanted sexual contact against the man's will and filmed. You're watching a man get sexually assaulted. And I think in that it's subtext of the scene is that's what people are realizing in that moment. It's like, oh, fuck.
I think what the scene does so well is that it's such a farcical situation, right? And it's absurd, but it gets a very earned sense of reality by the time you're getting to it. And then again, right? It's played very straight. Like there's no hamming it up, right? There's no, like, it is unrelenting in a very tone setting fashion for the franchise of, you look upon these works, kind of thing, right? Of like, you have to stare at the abyss sometimes and what happens when it stares back at you. And what I think is incredible about, the scene itself is that, hey, first of all, it sucks that they had to do a couple of takes. Like, probably, tough day on set, right? Just to get in for that one. But apparently, the first one, he didn't call cut. He just let Rory Kinnear just kind of just go until he couldn't go. And you kind of feel that, right? In the scene as he's thrusting and grunting and persevering with this real perverse desperation, right? That like the performance of it also feels played in a way that could have gone a lot of different directions that did not hit with such a visceral level.
I think the lead into it, where there's that kind of offhand remark where she goes, we talked to a psychologist. They say, you take as long as you feel like you need to. And it was like, thanks for that. Thanks for that. Like, I made a useless phone call. But like also, they're like, the only thing I've got to prepare you for this is like, probably don't go too quick, but also don't, you know what I mean? But it was just like, hey, man, if you just shut the fuck up right now, but like, what do you do with that?
I also think probably, it's at the end, right? But I think, vintage Black Mirror and how the episode ends, which to me is just so kind of crushing, is that your boy is, we a year out, right? He got the poll numbers, she alive, everything's great. But your marriage, though, the respect from your wife.
Fuck that lady. I mean, seriously, she's blaming her husband for sexual assault. That's not okay.
She is. Yeah, I think, but you know what? It's not okay, but I think it's probably I think it's such a realistic ending, though, especially for the class of British society specifically that we're talking about, right? Of everywhere I go, I'm married to the pig fucking prime minister who saved the princess, right? And that's the order of how they say it. They don't say the prime minister who saved the princess by fucking the pig. You know what I mean? Right. They out here with the aggressive phrasing. And I will agree, it's fucked up that she don't give him the space, you know what I'm saying, to really process it. I did this for the country. I did this for the streets. I did it for us. But to me, that's so fucking, it's played just really like, oh, yep, they're fucked. I mean, like, he just has to live in that every day. Like he has to live in a nightmare scenario.
When he goes out
every day,
he's all waves and smiles. The moment he gets home, it's fucking Christ.
He honestly, it's almost like the public kind of moves on in a way, right? Like, okay, you got your humiliation, you got your spectacle, you got your pound of flesh, and they're on to the next. But at home, that humiliation is every day for you, in the most brutal fashion possible, right? Because she really, she ain't got to say nothing no more. She just look at you. You could have had the best day. You tea and crumpets it up, you know what I'm saying? You ribbon cutting it, you know what I'm saying? Y'all out here doing big shit. She just look at you, you know, that's the pig fucking look. You fucked that pig. And you liked it too, probably.
Yeah.
She didn't hit him with everything. She didn't hit him with all of it. She hit him with all of it.
I don't care. I'm just like, yo.
You're like, yeah, I know. Yeah,
like if I'm him, I'm like, listen, an awful fucking traumatic thing happened to me. Like, you're either coming with me to, like, you know, therapy sessions, whatever the fuck you're going through this with me, or like, look, I'll find another one of you. Like,
you're not staying. A year later, if she's icing you out like that, you said, hey, we got to call it quits.
3 months, you get tops. Now, I'm under the banner, under the headline, this is why Mitch is single. There's so many things where I'm like, there's so many like TV shows, movies where I'm like, just break up with them. What do you do? Like, so many times it's like, what do you fucking do? Just break up. Or why are you suffering? Like, you can, there's other people. I promise you.
Sometimes there's not
people in the world.
Sometimes there's not for people.
Well, if you're the prime minister,
that's a very optimistic. Are there other people in a very esoteric sense? Yes. Are there other people for you?
If this woman blaming you for a thing that happened at you.
No, this guy, I'm not. He's definitely not who I'm talking about. He got to get out of it.
Yeah.
He got to get the fuck out.
I know you're saying
the prime minister has definitely got to make a move.
Not always.
You know what I'm
right.
Also, as a button note for this, what I did not know, but upon diving into the history for all this stuff, right, is incredible decision by Channel 4, and probably the smart and the right one, to mention nothing about the pig arc at all. Nothing about it when this premieres. Y'all signed up thinking you just watching a straightforward political thriller. And
in
then
the comedy
all of a
slot.
sudden, in the comedy slot. And the same way you describe an old boy at the bar, right? You're watching across the nation being like, are they really going to have this man fuck the pig? Is he really going to fuck a pig? And then he really out here fucking the pig. You know what I'm saying? That's just incredible levels of TV viewership where you don't truly get those kinds of Kansas City shuffles. You don't get it for sure. It's great. It's good stuff.
So, I don't know, we doing a 1 to 5 scale? What are we doing? Are we just saying?
Yeah, let's do 1 to 5.
Let's
do 1 to 5. We can do it. We can rank them. We can rank them.
Okay.
I think that might be a good. And then we can go back and see how we're scoring across and where we.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right.
I give it honestly right down the middle. I'm going 3 on this one.
You're a 3 on this one. Okay. Can we do halves?
Yeah.
Can we letterbox style?
Yeah,
Can
absolutely.
we do a half?
Absolutely,
you
can do half.
I can put on it. This one a 3.5 for me. 3.5.
Yeah.
I really like this one. I remember enjoying it. It's been a while since I've watched some of the early ones, but I remember being like, this was pretty good. Yes. But I would say solid 3.5 for me I
don't remember what I thought at the time. I probably thought much higher of it at the time, but today it's just like, I don't know. It doesn't hit the same. So,
I think for me,
it's definitely it's a great way to get you into the series. I do think that.
Yeah, it's great.
First episode.
I will also say, if I am describing quintessential Black Mirror, right, it would be one of these other titles that we're looking at here, in the sense that it has that the misdirection and, you know, the twist, and also the just, you know, gut punch, right? Where it's delivered very differently here. It's still very visceral, but it does not feel like you are being blindsided and bludgeoned in a way that other episodes do. And they're like, well, all right, good night.
Yeah.
More comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's very clever. I don't normally like a post-credit sequence, but I think it's very clever in this one particularly to throw in all of the, and here's a year later in the post-credits, I think is a good touch. That's the way to do it. Because it would have been as just part of the normal part of the episode, it would have felt like, okay, now you're going a little long in the tooth. But as a post-credits, like, hey, if you're interested, like it's optional viewing, really. And
it's truly one of the things that I love, trying not to skip ahead here, but I think that White Bear does incredibly well is using the post-credits scenes to further the story in a way that is incredibly impactful. And I also don't know if it would have fit in that larger narrative, right? And it works. Right. In this sort of piecemeal sort of installment thing. And it's something that the series does very effectively throughout.
Next up, we've got 15 Million Merits. And to me, the first appearance of Charlie Brooker recognizing talent, like we've talked about with Screen White, in Daniel Kaluuya.
Yes.
Jordan Peele clearly saw this and went, that dude, I'm putting him in everything.
Well, literally, yes. I mean, it is straight up, you know, what's fascinating, because that was one of my big things was, you know, I remember watching this and seeing him and having the thought, I'm like, this guy's fucking incredible, right? This guy's going to be huge. And, you know, going back and seeing that, you know, Brooker basically said the same thing from when he auditioned him, right? He's like, it's a no-brainer. And, you know, and then afterwards, I can imagine being Charlie Brooker and being like, as he says, surely this guy is going to be a massive star. And then he's just kind of like doing stuff, right? He's not really, you know, doing anything on the levels that he is now, like winning a fucking Oscar as he does, you know, for, you know, the Fred Hampton movie. But it is literally Jordan Peele watching this fucking episode and being like, that's the guy. That's him. That's it. Like,
I don't have the script yet, but when I do, that's the guy.
Like I am, I mean, I can, because I think you write, like, what's incredible about the episode is the range, right, that you get from Kaluuya. It's also the fact that, right, he doesn't talk barely at all for like the first 15 minutes of this episode. But absolutely. He has that intensity in his face, right? He's got that expressiveness in his eyes, and you get the range that you see in Get Out, right? You see the explosion that you need at the end when he's freaking out. The keys, Rose, the keys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you see that kind of
keys,
quiet,
Rose. Those keys.
Yeah, that quiet containment, right? That whole range of explosiveness you get.
The hardest thing that he does expertly in this episode and in Get Out, but certainly in this episode that he nails, is his overwhelming fucking awkwardness.
Yes,
especially
he's
in those
physically,
15 minutes.
He's physically kind of uncomfortable, right?
It's in
quiet,
the shoulders. He's whispery. He's like, I don't. Like doesn't talk to anybody.
There's a physicality to his acting. It's incredible, right? I mean, you kind of even really see this even when you're talking about Get Out, right? In the, you know, the sinking, you know, the sunken place scene, right? In the chair, right? He's literally contained in the chair, and there's still so much happening with, obviously the tear, but his hands and the way his whole body is gripping and working and all of that stuff. But yeah, you're exactly
he does
right in the sense.
He does a subtle cry like nobody else, where it's just tears.
Yeah.
And it's not like his whole face distorts. He's just kind of looking and tears. Like he does it in this episode. He obviously doesn't get out. But like, you're just like, ooh, it's intense.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. It's truly right. And I think what's also like, you can see a guy who is sort of already very, very talented because he had been doing skins, right? And, a guy who truly understands the craft. I think sometimes you'll watch somebody and you're like, okay, this person is acting, right? And they're good. But I think it's the same way as I know maybe you can appreciate as well, I would say, right? When you see a comedian and you say to yourself, right, I'm watching someone working on the craft. You know what I mean? Like they're in such a zone in terms of how they're approaching and thinking and constructing and deconstructing, that it's operating on a totally different level. And that's just how you feel when this guy's on screen and how this episode is evolving, right? There's never a moment in which you're not kind of on edge just like him. You can go, I think one of the things they always talk about, right, is I think about that scene from The Office with Jim and Pam where they're like quiet for 37 seconds or something like that. And they're like, network TV, not having nobody talk for 30 seconds. Woo-hoo, boy, that was a hard pitch. And they're out here being like, no, this guy, he ain't saying shit, right? Like it's not as quiet as that, but like your lead is just not talking for basically a quarter, a chunk.
You could call this the Daniel Kaluuya demo reel and be
truly
correct.
Yeah.
It's without him, I don't think the episode works. I
don't think it does.
I mean, I don't know, but
I'd agree.
Obviously, that's it's there's certain media where TV and movies where that's the case where like I literally can't imagine anyone else similarly, different vein entirely, but similarly as far as I just can't is famously Back to the Future. They filmed the whole thing they wanted Michael J. Fox in the beginning. It was like you can't get him. He's too busy. He's got too much going on. Yeah. And it was Eric I can't remember his name. My apologies. Apologies to the redhead. But you watch snippets, clips, outtakes, whatever the fuck. You watch the original,
Eric
version of it. Eric Stoltz, that's right. You watch it with him, and you're just like, oh man, this guy does not get it.
He's
a great actor in a lot of other things.
When you see, it's funny you say that because I just recently across the feed had the Back to the Future, Michael J. Fox, Eric Stoltz side by side shots.
Yes,
and it's frame by frame, and you're just seeing those Michael J. Fox things that he does, and the physicality and the embodiment. And I can understand a studio head getting those dailies and being like, respectfully, absolutely not.
Yeah. Hey, where are we at on Michael J. Fox?
Yeah,
well, we got this guy Eric. Hey. Hey, no, I ain't trying to hear that.
I understand, but listen to me though. Y'all gotta go get Michael J. Fox immediately. To the story itself, right? It is not as fucked up as some of the other Black Mirror episodes.
Yeah.
Would you grant me that? I'm not saying it's not fucked up. It's fucked up. But I think it's a very difficult thing because of
on the Black Mirror fucked up scale. You kind of go, look, it opens fucked the moment you figure out what's going on, that they're generating electricity by riding bikes and they get to spend it on bullshit. Okay, but it doesn't escalate to more fucked up. Kind of beyond that baseline.
It's kind of a baseline dystopian where you're like, okay. I mean, that seems not too far-fetched. It's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But it's not fucked up. It's not like, damn. You kind of get there, right? It becomes more. But I think it's interesting that this was
now this one does,
supposedly-
by the way, this one does ride the line between this is kind of your fault and oof, that sucks. This one rides that line.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering.
Sorry, I didn't know where to cut you off, but I don't know if that's where we're going
No.
with it.
Please do. But I do think it's interesting, right? Where you've got this underclass. Like it's got a couple of fascinating things fused together, right? You've got the underclass who, you know, are generating the power, right? But then you've got the talent competition piece where I think, you know, we love our reality shows and competitions in the United States, no doubt about it, right? But I think sometimes perhaps it is forgotten how much those shows come downstream from Britain, right? Like Britain's Got Talent, X Factor, Simon Cowell, and Jinnell, right? Right. And so I think, you know, this is obviously post American Idol being exported and having some of that fervor over here. But it's, you know, kind of one of those things when you're watching something and you, as an American watching the British, you're like, oh, that's right. Like this kind of was the epicenter for that shit in many respects. So it makes sense that you would take that superstructure and fuse it with, well, what happens if you were competing in this talent competition, right, where you had to buy your way in, but then it's actually incredibly rigged and there's no way for you to actually win the competition. What's fascinating here is that you don't necessarily get too much backstory about the choice to go into this, right? Like,
yeah, that was a little unclear because the woman who shows up was like, I was over in blank, but I came here. And you're like, okay, so
yeah,
what
like you get transferred to another one, right?
Yeah.
But you don't get to go home. Like it feels like what we don't get is like, oh no, you sign up for this and now you've got a 40-year contract. Right?
Yeah, is this the military or is this prison?
Yeah, right. Like, do these people get to leave? Because it feels like to some degree you don't get to leave, right? There doesn't feel like there's a lot of agency here in terms of how this facility and place operates.
That's
like,
why it's mostly, like, hey, oh, that sucks. The baseline is, oh, that sucks.
70,
but
30,
like,
70,
but like
30.
The specifics are like, hey man, that's kind of your fault.
That's kind of your fault. This is kind of your fault. Yeah, that's fair.
But the baseline is, ooh, that sucks.
Yeah, and I think what's fascinating because right, like you clearly. You can earn your keep, right? You can pedal your ass off. You can get your money. You can go to the competition, or you can spend and live lavish. You could get the snacks. You could get the upgrades. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to
avatar.
Yeah, you don't have to live in vengeance mode where you're scrimping on the toothpaste. You understand? Like that again. To your point, that's a choice, big dog. I understand the choice, and I support it. That sucks for you, but you could spend a little more on a toothbrush if you wanted to, right? To me, that is still very dystopian, but it's lowercase d dystopian in this story. Of like, it kind of feels like you could lead a compound. Like, did you have to threaten to kill yourself to get to the condo? Kind of, yes, absolutely. But there's a condo there, and you chilling. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know. You feel like, I feel like they trapped on here, or you feel like they could leave. I honestly, I go back and forth.
No, I agree. It feels like some level. I was trying to, because there's no old people on them bikes.
No old people. Right. No, there's
nobody over.
It feels like it's a society that's saying,
really.
Right.
So
we
like,
want the fittest, poorest people.
Is this like it felt somewhere between prison and conscription, where I think it's more like you do your military duty. Essentially, you do this is what you do for the first 20. Well, she says she's 21 when she walks in. So maybe up until that, now you're at the age where you're on the bikes until you're 40 something. And then now you can go back.
You bike for 20 years. Like to me, the thing, it feels like Hunger Games District 12 shit. Right. Like, they're like, these are the broke ass people. This is what you contribute to society. You got a couple choices here. But you don't, and then we just gonna make it easy. Like we've kind of reverted back to company towns in a sense, right? Where they're like, well, why would you go home? just stay here. If you want to wake up and pedal, you could pedal, right? Like, can you not just go pedal on your own? There's not like pedal hours. You just pedal, right? You just pedal to store energy. Am I crazy?
In what sense are you crazy?
I mean, like there's some scenes where ain't nobody in the bikes and he just pedaling. You know what I'm saying? Aren't there some scenes like that?
Yeah.
He's just
I think he woke up early, blah blah. That's the
so like you can wake up early and pedal before.
You could do overtime. Yeah. And
you could OT on the pedal. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sure. You could pedal all day, right? And that's what they like. So that's what I'm like. They just skip into the end and they're saying, "Why go home? Why go home? We have nice-ish places for you to live. I bet they nicer than that District 12 ass house you live in, ain't they? Huh?
Yeah.
Stay here.
Yeah.
Pedal. Enjoy the toothpaste. And now I get to go and tell the board, hey, we got unlimited energy from these broke ass people who now feel like they have a future, even though they're cogs in the machine."
Charlie Brooker calls this the screen wipe story, where essentially he was a TV and video game reviewer. That's what he did. And then he decided, well, to really bitch about TV, I should make TV. And that's largely what Screen Wipe was like, I'll bitch about TV on TV, which is very the story of this guy. Like, I'm going to bitch about the system we're all in by getting
it's a very
by
meta commentary.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
For whatever that's worth. But ultimately, you don't need to know that to enjoy or not enjoy. To consume this episode, you do not need to know anything about Charlie Brooker. But it is interesting to note that this is his own kind of commentary on his career. Like, yeah, I get it. I talk shit about TV and now I make TV.
This was the first script I think they wrote for the show. So that makes sense with that piece where it's sort of like, well, yeah, like, all right, I'm going to do this thing. And this one definitely has a little bit more comedy department fingerprints on it, if you will, compared to others in the series 1, series 2. But what I think is fascinating is, as an observation about it, is the way they present ads as this sort of physically intrusive presence, right? And the way in which the porn ad just comes screaming in. And then, of course, if you don't have money, you can't get rid of the ad, right?
Right.
And so I think that
our current reality trying to read news on the internet.
Yeah. If you go and load up a fucking mobile site, God bless, it's your whole shit is getting crashed, right? I mean, I don't know what we need to do as a society to overhaul this shit, but it's just, to me, that's something that I had noted down. I think when you first watch it, right, it's sort of, it has an appreciation. You're understanding it of like, oh, it's definitely, this is cruel, obviously, where he has to see Abby, in her ads afterwards. But I think living in this current moment, it hit very differently in the sense of that intrusion feels a lot more tangible now, right? Where you can just, ads are just everywhere, right? They are ubiquitous in that sense. For better or for worse, that is how we live.
Well, it drives me nuts that every gym I've ever been in has Fox News on.
Yeah, right.
Kills me. And they have this little thing off the side. If you want to change the channel, I'm like, I'm not being that guy. There's 40
if you want to snitch on yourself and be a federal agent, go ahead.
Yeah. But it's like, you're just biking away, listening to on a podcast or music or something like that, and then you look up and it's Trump corn, blah, 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 and it's an ad for some bullshit thing that appeals to, and you're like, oh. And it's so hard to just like, okay, I gotta close my fucking eyes. I swear to God, if I wasn't allowed to close my eyes, that I wouldn't be. If they could find a way to be like, no, you're on that bike. But I think of this episode every single time I'm on an Xer bike at a gym. And there's always like surrounded by TVs, and they're always playing Fox News. And I'm like, getting fucking whose electricity?
That's yeah. It's funny because when I first saw this episode, the thing I thought about was, when I used to go to this, I used to work at this fitness center, in high school, and they used to have cutting edge technology, man. They had these like VR bikes with screen, and you could like go up a mountain and stuff or whatever. And I'm yo, that shit was so dope. I'm not trying to ride no regular ass bicycle. I'm trying to do VR shit, man. I'm trying to be out here, trying to be immersive. Fuck you mean? I can ride the regular bicycle anywhere I want to. I don't got this shit at home, man. I'm trying to enjoy. I'm trying to live. And so I remember being like, yeah, see, like you could easily fuse that kind of technology with this to be like, forget all about being here in this sort of semi-prison like entity where you maybe can leave, right? Like, isn't this so cool? Avatar, new boo boo boo, right? Hey, you know, I mean, that shit works, son. That shit works. People, you know, enjoy the simple pleasures in life, but having experienced the wonders of an early version of that shit, just on the general note, right? To the stuff where you get technology, that's cool as hell. Kudos to the state for that.
This would definitely be another one of those like OpenAI, Sam Altman being like, now that's an idea. That's how we'll pay all these AI bills in these data centers. We'll get some people on them bikes is what we're going to do.
Do we not think that there is some sort of version of this existing right now somewhere? Something is being powered by people on bikes. You don't think that exists in no?
Well, in a very real way, for example, there have been multiple instances of quote unquote AI or computer assisted tools that turned out to just be a team of dudes in Bangladesh.
Yes, right, yeah.
Like the Amazon stores, they were like, no, the cameras are going to track what you buy. You
right. Well,
and then it came out that like, no, the cameras aren't tracking anything. There's a guy watching you who types in, okay, he picked up the kumquats and he picked up the ham sandwich.
Okay, so your equivalent is basically, again, every time you see someone doing, hey, look at this humanoid robot, and you're like, oh no, this is a guy on the assembly line somewhere else.
The Tesla robots were 100% just dudes behind the scenes with joysticks. Those things were not autonomous anyway. The voice was definitely a guy backstage being like, yes, I'm a robot. Is that what I'm supposed to say? Yes, I'm a
I feel like there's some company that had a live cam of a robot on an assembly line that was like grabbing stuff and sorting items. And I do remember a lot of commentary being like, are we sure this isn't a guy at an actual assembly line somewhere just rifing through? And it's not because the hands and the motions didn't always necessarily seem great. That said, I do not think that is necessarily the equivalent to putting someone on a bike for power purposes is a bad.
No, it's not. It's not. It's a hop, skip, and a jump away. But I will say briefly, something somebody pointed out to me like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago that sticks with me. And I think about it every single time I see any kind of robotic head. If the head moves, it's performative bullshit because it's so much cheaper to just put a camera on all the way around. Cameras are way cheaper than servos and motors. Moving parts are the worst part of any electronics because that's going to break eventually. So if a robot moves its head, fuck you. Your tech is bullshit. Okay. Put cameras all around. You put like 5 cameras on a head, you're not missing anything. There's no reason for the robot to turn its head.
I didn't know you were such a motion capture guy. This is fascinating.
No, I don't mean motion capture. Like I mean, I'm saying like when, I mean, there's also that.
Similar technology.
But I'm saying like the
tech sounds the same.
When they were doing the Tesla demos and the thing turned its head, it was like, now what is that? Why is the thing turning its head? Don't act like you don't have cameras. Just put fucking cameras up there.
Man, come on, man. Why the robot?
There's no reason to make the head move. Don't make the head move.
Man.
It's performative bullshit.
This robot has a custody hearing tomorrow. I don't think that. Speaking of cutting edge, the actual crux of 15 Million Merits, right? Where I think it's fascinating to see, I guess, to the question of how this thing is structured. There is still clearly a presumption of legitimacy about the institution, right? From his perspective with Abby and encouraging her and hearing the voice and all of that stuff and being like, you got to get out there. And so to me, that's another argument for, okay, they are presenting this as this wondrous oasis in this destitute, impoverished, pre-Brexit society, right? And so it's then fascinating to say, all right, you pull the rug out from under him.
This is that Michael Bay movie you made me watch.
The Island.
The Island.
It's the island.
Yeah. The Island.
Yeah, bringing it back. The island. Yeah, great. Yeah, 100%. Great callback. Yeah.
But they're like, the island is this glorious.
This is great. And then, I mean, absolutely. Daniel Kaluuya, Ewan McGregor, one and the same. And Abby, I guess, is Scarlett Johansson. But I think, right, like it's crazy how it's presented because it's played very straight. Like, okay, it feels a little lowercase d dystopian. And then you get to sort of the swerve of, hey, you got a great voice, but we don't need another singer. Do you want to be in porn? And they drug her as well, right? And there's all that stuff. And so that's when it's like, oh, okay, this is the fucked up situation that I thought it was. They not on the up and up. Y'all really moving real filthy out here.
Right.
And then you shift gears, but I think it's interesting to see how they intertwine the porn element of it, right? As the ad and the interstitial, because it doesn't necessarily feel like it's a OnlyFans call, but it does. The pipeline feels very in the sense of like it's more traditional Hollywood than it is anything modern, right? Of like, you went for this casting and then now you are out here slumming it up in that sense, right?
And what do they still get their pound of flesh from, for example, the lady who couldn't sing at the end there, and they just were like, fuck you suck. Yeah, I don't like your face. I don't like your attitude. I don't like your voice. You can't sing. Fuck off.
You go back to the bikes?
Does she go back to the bikes? Or it's like, hey, it's fucking Bitchy McGee over here on the Bitchy McGee show. Done? Everybody hates you. Watch the Bitchy McGee show.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, honestly, right? It does feel like
they got to get their pound of flesh one way or another, right? So
it does. Like they're going to get you. They're going to get you coming or going. And so if suddenly everyone, right? I mean, that's kind of what happens here, where you have a guy, and this is being broadcast in the sense of what, like across the country, we would say, right? This is being broadcast across Britain. Is that the idea in that sense?
Yeah.
Black Mirror. And so the whole nation.
Anybody else who's on the bikes is watching.
Right. It's right. Bikes all across the country. Boots. But it's bikes, obviously. 20 years later, you know what I'm doing. So
biking up and down again. Bikes.
Please, I'd love a remix for someone doing bikes instead of boots with Daniel Kaluuya and Black Mirror. That'd be great. But it's fascinating to think, right? To your point, you're presented with a guy about to fucking slit his throat on national TV, who's ranting about the evils of the system and how exploitative it is, right? There's no humanity, there's no soul, and he's spot on. And they are like, that's great. Would you like a job?
Yeah.
Like, that is the most diabolical, dystopian, cynical approach that you could possibly
That's when the
have.
system feels so safe. They're like, we'll give you money to say whatever the fuck you want about the system. It ain't going.
I'm so unconcerned by you.
Yeah.
That I am immediately co-opting you. And I think, right, it's also the other piece of the commentary is where I think we've seen this a lot in this current political environment. People who were one way, and suddenly when opportunity and comfort and, a chance to move up in a station of life, more specifically from an underclass and an undesirable into now something more resembling an elite, despite scoffing and sneering and despising them, I have stared into the abyss and it has stared back, and I have become that which I loathe, right? That is it. Like, he doesn't seem to have any qualms. And also, Abby is just still lost to the system, right?
Yeah.
As far as we know. Like, he not on no rescue mission for Abby. He not He's not trying to get her out. I don't think he gives a fuck.
There's no post-credit scenes where he's like, hey, now that I got the condo, how far away is Abby from the condo?
Yeah. And then the next scene is just them throwing him out the condo like Jazz from Fresh Prince. With, But
I bet you're all wondering how I got here.
Yeah. I think that is what I think is, probably the most unsettling piece of it, right? Is obviously the system's co-opting him, but you kind of, there's a willingness and a want to be co-opted to that regard, right? And to say the dangerous things from the most comfortable place that you can say them. Mm-hmm. And I think what sort of the like just chef's kiss, of the episode is that he has the right, like to the point that this entity is like, yeah, man, hey, whatever you want. You want a nice box? You want a nice box for the shard that you've been carrying around?
Yeah.
Look at your nice box. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
We got a factory that makes shards. If you ever break that one, don't worry about it. Make another one look just like it.
What a shard guy at? What a shard guy? Remember my shard guy? Hey, you got to meet this guy. This guy makes the best shards. You thought you found that shard? You thought you found that shard?
Polished. Get your name engraved on it.
Yeah, it's great, beautiful. Great, but $1 million shard. It's just fascinating though, because like, I think that's it. That's the danger of standing athwart and saying stop and no. And then when the system's like, okay, well, like we will roll over you or you can have a seat at the table. And then what does that really mean? Right? Like having a seat at the table in this sense is basically you have absolutely been defanged, neutered, nothing. Like you have, however, the other underclass still is pedaling on that bike, right? They still on that bike. They don't know nothing. The speech just goes.
But then also now you got a blueprint. You too with 15 million merits can. But they're like, we already got a guy that holds a shard to the neck and rants.
Right? Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, you gonna be the rant guy? We got a rant guy.
What you got?
Right? Yeah.
What you got? Well, I shoot people. Well, I don't have a shoot people guy.
Saved up. Yeah, you didn't save up your 15 million merits. You got the shard. You're ready to go to like, we got a guy. Yeah. You can't do it. I do think though it's also.
I'm recalling the sensationalist headlines from maybe 5-6 years ago where they were like, influencers / YouTuber, whatever have you, now tops the list of what I want to be when I grow
what kids
up.
want to do. Yeah. Right. Yes.
And people were like lamenting, like, I'm like, yeah, but look at, so they're looking at their parents and going like, you guys are fucking miserable. But I'm watching people all day with smiles on their faces and Lamborghinis in the driveway. Gee, I wonder what looks more attractive.
Yeah.
At least when I was growing up, the working man, everybody, I lived in the suburbs. You know what I mean? Everybody had some random ass job in a house.
Yeah.
So like, that's a perfectly achievable reality. You could work a job and have a house. Fuck it.
Look, the original appeal, right? TV from your bedroom. Everybody, you got a bedroom, you got a phone, you got a camera, you can get out there and you too can, chase those influencer dreams, right? So on that level, that sense of, all right, hey, I think this is what is fascinating because it is so distinctively traditional media, right? You've got the traditional old school Hollywood types, the creepy casting couch kind of thing that then leads to someone who was trying to be a traditional star and now they're doing, sleazy, whatever kind of bullshit, whatever. Right. And it's not on their own terms in that sense. Cause I think that's the other piece where Abby is clearly drugged up, fucked up. Like she's not cognitively.
To be fair, present. She also didn't want to sing. So
that's also there.
She was like, I don't want to. I'll just stick with the bike. I'm good. I sing bullshit. Yeah. I ain't that good.
She wasn't trying to live that life. She just wanted to be on the bike.
And he pushes her. Come on, be a famous star. Yeah. And they're like, well, we can't be famous for singing, but if you want to take some drugs and get drilled.
Yeah. Yeah,
we got to,
we got a spot for you. We got a spot for you.
Which I'm not blaming her for that. I'm just saying,
And I think that's also back to the point of, deep down, does this man know that he's the reason that Abby is in the fate that she is, and then he does nothing. Sounds like a you thing, like that's that's.
I mean,
that's part of the bleakness.
You did this, my friend.
Yeah. This one's got nothing to do with me. Be sure to tune in next week. Because it also, now that he's out, like, he's not going back to the bikes, right? Does he just get to live life like a regular guy? He's just out in like regular state society now.
In a version of regular. What's regular in there?
Whatever that looks like. He's still under control, right? But he's not out the regime in that sense. I mean, it's interesting in that sense.
You're under control and you do what they tell you.
Yeah. How many people are riding bikes, do we think? As a final question for you. In the British society, it feels like the majority of them are riding bicycles. Are we talking about like South Africa apartheid? Like the totality of the country's on bikes, watching shit, and there's just a few Simon Cowells out there.
It feels like that. It feels like, okay, you've got whoever's
you've got a upper crust.
You've got the people in the show are
whoever's building the bikes.
Right. Well, I'm saying you got the people.
No, they're still in the system. Sure that the
system's making sure the system keeps running. However many people that is, 100 people, whatever, 1,000 people, and their interns. You know what I mean? And then you got the Simon Cowells and Paul Abduls and what's his fuck from Maroon 5, right about here. And then you got I guess you got the bikes, and then I guess you definitely got the people who can't bike, they're not old enough, or they're too old. You've got
you've got to have
somewhere in the middle. There's a good million or 5 million.
Everybody can't ride the bike. Okay, they can't all ride bikes. You've got folks you've got a total of, call it like 70 million people in the United Kingdom here. All right. So what are we thinking? Are folks who would be in that population able to be of biking age and capability?
20?
What are we thinking?
20 mil, maybe?
20 million people? That's a lot of people on bikes. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a big
audience. We're talking about a lot of people on bikes.
Shard show.
That's a huge fucking audience. I don't think I've really worked out the scale of biking here, but you're talking about a lot of bike facilities.
Well,
there's a lot. You power for the whole country? That's a lot.
Not that I want to get too nerdy, but I mean, you would need 20 million people on bikes to actually do anything useful with that level of electricity. So, and it's all. I mean, then there's also there's a Newton's third law, energy in, energy out. It definitely costs more from a human standpoint to ride the bike to generate electricity than it does a million other ways to generate electricity, because you're keeping a human alive, much like in the Matrix, same idea. It's a waste of energy to use a human for that when you could cut them out and go straight to, there's much better sources of energy that don't involve keeping them fed and clothed and shit.
Hey, I love how you're coming in like the consultant, being like, "Hey guys, really love what you've set up here on the island. Couple suggestions, couple efficiency points."
So I'll give this one a 3.5.
I give this one 3.5 as well.
It's all right. It's getting there.
I give this one 3.5. I would give. I scored strong. 3.5 as well.
All right, so we've gone longer than we thought. I guess technically we should have known. We always go long.
We should have known.
So
we should have known.
Despite our best, we're gonna split this.
This is a game time executive decision of realizing our initial approach to these episodes will be adjusted. Shocker, your boys are talking.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry that we have a lot to say. I thought we were
going to kind of zoom through the first 2 or 3 as like a palate cleanser, and I'm like, no, there is still quite a lot to talk about there. So
there's a lot to talk about here.
It happens. You're welcome, everybody. This is a free podcast. Now we get into the entire history of you, written by Jesse Armstrong, who's now a giant name, which again, maybe partially you could say Brooker recognizing talent, but at the time he was the creator and writer of a show called Peep Show, which British comedy nerds out there are like, fuck yeah, Peep Show. Anything David Mitchell does, I'm gonna watch the shit out of. He's my favorite. Love the hell out of that guy.
Yeah.
That Mitchell and Webb look, folks. If you like British comedy, that Mitchell and Webb look, definitely look it up. And then after that, the same two fellas, David Mitchell and God it, damn it, I know his name escapes me right now, but David Mitchell's writing partner on there. They went on to then do the Peep Show, just Peep Show, which is kind of like The Office in a sense, in that it's day-to-day life. It's a sitcom, et cetera, but it's largely, a lot of the scenes are you're hearing David Mitchell's internal dialogue while he kind of goes about his day. So a little bit of Scrubs, I guess, to it, but very funny show. And of course, most recently, Succession, which won all the awards,
right?
And
that's where he a lot of people's radar. He came on a lot of people's radar, and you're talking about being, still several years away from Succession when this one drops. Also, I think noteworthy that this is the only one without a Brooker writing credit, right, in the whole history of the show. So a pretty special place if you are Jesse Armstrong. I think also, this to me is where it is very ironic this comes from the comedy department's budget, because if you get this episode and you're like, okay, Peep Show guy, huh? All right, man. I like some of your stuff.
You're in the comedy. I haven't seen a lot of comedy from the Black Mirror team yet. But Jesse Armstrong, that's a good pick.
This is all right. Okay. This
the Peep Show guy.
Is such a deeply unfunny complimentary.
Yeah. Not everything needs to be funny. I'm with you.
Yeah. But you were like, hey, man, what the fuck? I thought there was... just like, what is... This is so sad. This is so sad.
Now, this to me, of the first 3 episodes, this to me is the quintessential... This is where the rubber meets the road, the quintessential Black Mirror episode of the first season.
And now it's getting into the shape of it. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Where it's like, now, admittedly, most of the time that I was trying to get people into Black Mirror was through the White Christmas episode. But barring that, if you had never seen Black Mirror and I said, ooh, I would probably have them start with this one as far as like,
the tone
because
and the
of the technology,
you would
the tone,
work, you would work
the part where it's
a series like, backwards.
It does great that is a common theme with Black Mirror is, like I said, that first 20 minutes, you're like, well, that's kind of a cool technology. That's kind of neat. You could record it and play it back and remember exactly what somebody said and study their eye. Oh, shit, I did fuck up that meeting or whatever have you. Oh, that's where I put my keys. But wait. And the but wait is where Black Mirror shines to me. Yeah. And to this day, most of my favorite Black Mirror episodes have a but wait. And also, this one is firmly 100% in the, oh, this is your fault. Not a kinda. This is your fault.
Yeah. This one is unrelentingly in the your fault column. Liam is definitely at fault for everything. It is truly, it is so fucking bleak.
Yes.
Where again, you're like, hey man, don't you fuck with the sitcoms? Like, it's so fucking just, it's great, right? It is, I think, because of taking the idea of, the relationship, forgetting it, right? I think you and I both share a love for Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah, sure.
Which, fantastic film. And obviously hard not to think of that and the echoes when you're watching this, especially I think the technology, right, is much more tangible as opposed to that one where you're kind of just like, all right, we're just sort of like,
can I brief sidebar about that one?
Okay.
I saw Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind with a recent ex at the time that it came out. Like, we had been together for like 3.5 years, broke up, and then like she was in my area. She was like in the hood, as it were. And she was like, hey, do you want to go? I got a few hours, blah, blah, blah. I was supposed to meet with friends. They canceled, but I'm out here. She was living in Orange County. I was living in Hollywood. And I was like, yeah, we can go see that Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And she's like, okay, great. So we meet up at the theater. We sit down. And she's like, I just want you to know I already saw this. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like,
thanks.
And I made Liam's mistake. What do you think I asked her?
What did you think? Who'd you see it with? Oh, you saw who you see.
Mm-hmm.
Who you see it with?
I was like, wait, when did you see this? Oh, I was on a date. And I was like, okay. Cool.
Boy, that's a fun.
No follow-up questions, Your Honor. I at least was smart enough. I was at least smart enough to go like, no.
To wrap it up.
Don't ask any. Don't ask any.
I don't need to know nothing else.
But like, here I am still kind of, I probably thought that I was over it, but then I'm in it. Right. I'm in it. And I'm watching that movie in that situation. And I got to tell you, like most of the movie, I was like, I would erase you so goddamn. I will erase you right fucking now if I could.
You wish I could get you out of my fucking head.
Bitch, I don't want to be here with you right now. Like if I had known where that movie was going, I would have been like, "Oh, you already saw this?"
Oh yeah, man. Somebody should have been eavesdropping and should have been like, "Hey, man, you gotta get the fuck out of here, bro. It's gonna get worse for you." That's the way. I'm not trying to be any shit fella, but
this movie,
you might. Hey, we don't got no seat numbers at the movie theaters yet, so you get the fuck out of here. Say whatever you want to still.
So that movie hit hard.
I can imagine. I feel like that similarly, watching this episode now, right? Having lived through more life in 15 years in many respects, it is definitely one of those things where you can see the temptation to want to go back and replay everything from fights to this, that, or whatever, but also it would probably just destroy you systematically the way that it does Liam, right? Like, I don't think and also before we get into just sort of the downward spiral of your man Liam, crazy to me as a moment early on where at the party the woman is talking about how she got attacked. They stole her. They stole. Hey, that's the other thing. What you mean you out here stealing my memories for what? To do what with? What
she
the
said
memory
they were selling it to the Chinese for porn or something like that. And it's like, wait, right. And she goes, and it wasn't encrypted. And I'm sitting here going like, now hold on a fucking second. Why was that an option? Like right up, like fuck you. What that day one, like beta alpha test, encryption from the jump. What is this? It wasn't encrypted? Oh, how many people are walking around with unencrypted one of them fucking things? Oh, no,
you better upgrade my shit immediately. Immediately. I'm just saying that's a crazy.
But she seems way too calm about that. Like I would have been like, well, I guess I'm out. You know?
Yeah, like at the party, I'm like, hey, what? Yeah, but that as a social thing, that's just crazy to me that you were literally attacking people and stealing grains and memories and shit. That's wild. That's just absolutely wild. Yeah, okay, absolutely. That's out the way now.
Is it?
It's not. It's absolutely not. We're coming back to it.
Yeah.
Because you truly, I think you would just drive yourself insane, right? Like, the whole the want, the need to be right. And playing shit back, and you might be right about something, but you gonna catch and see something else or whatever, And then I think there's also the specific thing of you gotta learn to let things go in life at some point for your own sense of sanity or happiness. Who amongst us does not have some version of a Mr. Marrakesh, right? Do you need to drill your spouse on all those particulars? Maybe.
This episode is never talk to your partner about an ex, distilled to its bitter end.
I don't think that could be that. I don't think that could be the
do
answer.
It. Like, look. You gotta.
I like it. You're like, no. Actually, no. That is the policy.
I'm remembering one of the classic Teddyisms that you've quoted a million times over the years. One of the classic Teddyisms for folks at home. You used to say this a lot. I haven't heard you say it in a few years, but the number of times I remember you stop mid conversation and go, "Don't ask questions you don't want answers to."
Yeah. I mean, I still say it a lot. Yeah, I still say it. I still say it.
This episode is 100% that particular Teddyism. Don't ask questions I want answers to. The whole time you're going like, no, don't stop at don't ask.
You gotta really.
So like in general,
personification.
That's good advice. It doubles down when you're talking to a partner about an ex. And it's 100% off limits if you could fucking play back the answer to that question.
Yeah, no, definitely
what are you doing?
Brain technology
on all that shit
changes all of that. Changes all of it. Especially if because the worst part about it is exactly what you're talking about. Pull up the tape. Yeah. Right? Like now you got nowhere to go. Put a tape up. You just walking around with the X in your head.
Now I'm the kind of
you're gonna be devastated. You don't want
I'm in therapy over this shit because I like that's a common thing that I talk to my therapist about is like how do I at the end of the day stop making the last half hour of my day about what happened the last time I was embarrassed or may have said some stupid shit or maybe went out of pocket with the wrong person. Or like, hey, how cool was I at that party? How uncool was I? Let me just think about the uncool moments. Like every social interaction, I'm like, oh shit, am I gonna think about that later? Do I have time before I leave to apologize to that person so I can wipe it so that this doesn't come back next Tuesday? I already have this thing in my fucking head.
Yeah, right.
The last thing I would need. I get it. Is this writ large were to watch it? Oh, I would obsess. Of course, the part where you could zoom in on their fucking their eyes and be like, "What were they thinking? What were they thinking?"
Yeah, no. This is
you drive yourself fucking nuts.
You know, people talk about doom scrolling, but this is a whole other kind of activity that would
end of your life scrolling.
I mean. Truly, I mean, to what you're describing, I have gotten, memories of saying some embarrassing shit in like elementary school.
Yes.
That for some reason still kicks around there and haunts me.
Hold on, let me bring up the tape.
Yeah. That is the last shit that I need is some 7th grade cringe bullshit that I can literally play back to be like, damn, was that really that fucking, was I bit of a...
And the part where people go to parties and they're like, wait, let me show you what this guy did last night. You'd be like, motherfucker, I will shoot you in the head. Are you fucking kidding me?
See, that's the socialization piece. Now, I will also say, that's absolutely how you get your memories robbed, son. Y'all not gonna catch your boy at no party sharing the memories like that. Cause I don't know y'all. I don't know who on the list here. Now y'all out here looking at my good ass memories of my good ass life. I'm on the street getting attacked like old girl. Absolutely not. I'm not trying to live that kind of life. No, thank you.
Oh, by the way, keep these. This is a perfect example. Mark Zuckerberg saw this episode and went, now hold on a damn minute.
Yes. Right.
Them fucking glasses.
Would be great if I could.
The glasses are basically this, and you're like, no, Mark, I know you're not human.
I mean,
you don't know how they work, but no.
Yeah, I mean, the new thing that they want to do.
If I'm at a party and somebody walks in wearing the meta glasses, no, you got to leave.
I mean, they are.
I'm not having any conversations with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
100%
I mean,
glasses.
they're labeled perfect glasses. I can't say that I'm not mad about that. I mean, totally fine by me. But
you're having
I think
a party. You're
all
having
the
a party at your
updates-
place, right? You have a you got expected 20 people to show up, and somebody walks in wearing those. You go, hey, big dog. Those are gonna stay in the car, or what do you say?
I mean, no. I mean,
or you go, what did I do wrong in life that somebody I know thought it would be okay to even do?
To wear the medical glasses. To what? Yeah, no.
Like I got to look at myself and go, shit. Where did I fuck up?
Yeah, I thought I made it real clear. Yeah, like, I thought I made it real clear. This product does not have a place here. I think it's interesting because you're seeing in so many respects, right, the real-time grappling with that level of invasiveness. Yes, we did this with the Google glasses and all that stuff, and we made fun of them and we spurred those people out. But the Meta glasses are making their way. They got the Ray-Ban, partnership, right? They got Kylie Jenner out here doing it, right? Like they've learned from like, man, these things are ugly and heinous. And like, well, let's get one of the Kardashians to gussy it up. Like, no, stop learning. Don't.
Yeah, the problem isn't just that they look fucking stupid. It's not. Yeah, that's one.
That's not the issue.
Yeah.
It's not about being aesthetically unappealing. While that is a thing, it is much more about the, perpetual recording, invasiveness, surveillance chic bullshit, if you want to use a specific phrase that I've seen floating around here, right? Which is, it's everything, right? Like they want to get it to the point where it's like getting your routine with the medicine that you take and et cetera, and it's alerting like, hey, no. We don't need to do none of that shit. But the idea that
we got along for thousands of years with just this old box. We're good.
You're in the panopticon, right? Like it's crazy. We've talked about this before where you can't really just go out and shotgun a beer on a fucking fire escape as a college student in the United States of America without somebody making fun of you and recording you from your car being like, look at this fucking dork. And it's like, no, that guy's not a dork. He's just out here fucking trying to be a true blue. There's a dork in the car being a fucking narc ass guy filming.
There's a goth industrial performance artist band called the Genitorturers. And they were famous or infamous, you could say, in the 90s. Their live shows were like bootlegged and shit. They were the kind of thing at the right party, you'd be like, yo, I got the Genitorturers tape, and they would do some shit on stage. I got to interview Jen of Genitorturers back when I had a show, and I was like, are your shows, still this wild thing? She goes, fuck no. Everybody's a goddamn pussy because somebody's going to pull out a goddamn phone. She's like, I cannot get people up on stage. She's like, I would pull a guy up on stage and pierce his dick in front of 1,000 people. Today, he won't even come up for a kiss, Not literally the pierce the dick, but
yes. Point.
But like,
point understood.
I saw them on that tour. I mean, the night after that, I saw them live, and sure enough, she's up there with all kind of implements and shit. She's like, "Get up here, get your ass smacked," and everybody's just like, "Yeah, you should go. You want to go?" Like, fucking cowards, all of them. And I get it. Similarly coward. It ruined the Genitorture show with them smartphones.
I mean, look, everything's being ruined. I mean, it's everything, right? I mean, I think, I don't know, this wasn't on your radar, but, the Masters, right? The Sacred, they're out here, got lots of rules and stuff, but people, no phones are allowed there. It's a big thing. And then you had all these people this past year with the Meta glasses on, and they're recording everything and they're being obnoxious. And so now it's, not just a no phones, but it's no devices, right? I mean, there's all of these sort of intrusions happening across society. And I think outside of the glasses, what you get now in this era that I think, is different from the grain technology, I guess is the 1.0. You have these AI pendants, right? There's the friend and the human and that kind of shit or whatever. And that's the other thing where like, hey man, I don't know if I just want to be around you with your friend companion pendant, like what do you do? Like, what is the point of this thing? I don't understand what y'all are supposed to do. But everywhere you look, right, you have more and more places are having to say, you can't wear your fucking camera. You can't wear your camera glasses here. Schools, hospitals, all kinds of places like that, right? Like, we are all kind of reconciling with it. And I think there's so much for it because it drives you crazy in so many different ways. But specifically, to bring it back to the episode,
I was going to say briefly, there's a law in Japan that every device that records or takes photos has to make a loud noise while it's doing it.
Right. Yes.
Like, you can't change the volume of it. You can't change the noise
clutter thing.
Because too many people in the trains were doing the upskirts and shit. And they were like, we got to hit this at the source. Yeah. Like, we can't just rely on people to not be assholes. So similarly, the other thing too, there are two other things. I mean, there's a million things, right? But specifically, when you're thinking about grain footage and the difference between, okay, well, that's in your head. And maybe there's a cloud where everyone has grain stuff. I don't know, right? We don't know what the server game looked like. But it's definitely a cloud server.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, see, 100%. I can't have a hack, right? They out here stealing shit. But you were also talking about the situation in which there was a scandal. I think we were the contractors in Kenya were accessing footage from the glasses from Meta, right? Like, all of this footage is sitting there and they're just like, yeah, we're just rifling through and we're doing it. It's the same thing with Alexa, right? Amazon employees got in trouble for going through Alexa recordings. Well, you
can bet your ass if Meta / Facebook, whatever, I'll give them the Meta. Right. If Meta is involved, something creepy's happening. Like, you can just bet the farm on that. Yeah. Like, their respective privacy has never been there. So,
the thing about it is,
but still,
for the actual trial earlier this year, when I'm pretty sure Zuckerberg wore the Ray-Bans to court, and there was a thing where the judge, I think, was saying that potentially he was threatening him with contempt, and you got to take off your fucking glasses because the facial recognition technology could identify the jurors. I mean, that's the other thing, right? Like, you see somebody with that and you out here trying to Iron Man me up and fucking, run me through some fucking database or some shit like that. I mean, it's just a crazy world. There's too much, right? Like, if the technology wants to exist, it needs to be restricted into very limited use cases and not for casual consumption. Sorry, that is where the line draws. Got to be regulated out. On a very different note, as I was going to say, if you want to build a marriage and a relationship where y'all are milking each other out because you hate each other so much and y'all can't actually have sex with each other, right? And y'all just go into the memories. You're going to the memories of each other. I mean, it is that part is haunting, right? Where that they are just each watching, replays, and then when it cuts and you see them just laying there, just getting milked out. It's man, it's just you feel terrible. Again, I thought this was sponsored by the comedy department.
Well, this is like, what's interesting is that, like, they give you about a minute and a half or so, maybe like 5 minutes tops of like, look at this technology before it's immediately
cool, like, right?
Then cool. Before it's immediately like, let me show you all the ways this is fucking awful.
Right.
And I think it starts with the conversation at the table. The one guy's watching old bangings. The chick got her. Well, the
guy makes the joke. He makes the joke about before she talks about getting. That's what I'm saying. Like, you talk about 5 minutes. Hey, man, it's maybe like 60 seconds.
It was like pretty
before we get to. I will say this: ain't no fucking Surf Dracula happening here, man. We surfing. All right. It's the dude who talks about how his fiance was waiting for him in bed one time. And he was downstairs masturbating to him having sex with another woman. And shocker, the rest of the dinner party guests are like, hey, man. I'm not really feeling the joke, bro. Not really feeling that joke. And then
we don't get to invite single people to our parties anymore.
Right. And then the next person, and then that's when she's like, yeah, they tried to steal my shit. And you're like, all right, man, this shit sucks.
Yeah.
This is fucking terrible. So that,
and then that lady had the gall to be like, wait, all your memories are fake without the chip. And it's like,
right.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
but no one gets to watch me fuck anymore. So, you know,
I mean, I think like look, I mean, yeah, well, look, I mean, I don't know if it evens out.
And look, if everybody else has got one, then I don't need to worry about having one because you're going to remember it. Right. You're going to play it back for me if I forget something. So I'm good.
Now, the thing is, they also say if you don't get it out right, they'll blind you. Right?
Yeah,
it could potentially blind you. So that's the thing of, okay, you out here just snatching my shit and I'm getting blinded now. I can't see. But I think what makes this episode work so well is the fact that, again, like with all Black Mirror things, just when you think it can't get worse, if you were to ask me to describe one of my favorite things about Black Mirror, just when things were incredibly terrible, they become exponentially even more worse. And this dude finding out, right, that she did the Marrakesh and the relationship was longer and he's kind of fixated on it, and then getting to the crux that my child isn't actually mine. And unfortunately, right, he doesn't get the benefit of ambiguity in life. Not he can't walk away, right? The technology's there. It's too tempting. He's already down that rabbit hole, but it's there. Like if someone could come to you and say, look, man, like paternity test or not, but like I could pull the footage up.
Yeah.
You want to see it?
I know.
Like there are a lot of people who would be in that van like cheaters with Tommy in the leather jacket, being like, this is terrible. Oh my God. And like, all right, well, he's at the bowling alley right now. You want to go beat him and stab him? Okay, great.
Did you ever see the 1999 sci-fi dystopian movie with Ralph Fiennes' Strange Days?
Not for a long time, but I am familiar with it. It's been a long time.
It's very funny. Maybe it came out in like 97, but it was about the year 1999. It was like, we're not going to do all this in the next 2 years. But briefly, there is you're wearing recording devices, these squibs as they call them, but it's very obvious you're wearing them. It's not hidden or anything, but they also reproduce the sensation that your body's feeling. And so what people do is they go out and fuck, and then they sell copies of that tape to other people. That's how other people get their porn. Is they're like, yeah, man, I got one with a blonde, one with a red. You know, this is a threesome tape. You know, whatever, that kind of thing. That makes a little more sense. Where somebody would be like, well, yeah, I'll get into that. Insofar as, because again, you know the damn thing's there. It also comes with the sensation. It's not in this is pre-cloud. They were recording to little tapes. So you know that's. Yeah. But this whole thing, this is icky from the jump. Icky. There's like no part of this where I go, that'd be kind of cool. No.
Yeah, no, there's nothing about it. I think it's also, you could just see society-wide psychosis where the amount of people who would do what Liam does and confront Jonas and just go completely off the deep end, right?
That'd be day one. An hour after it launches.
You know what? This would be the exact opposite of what happens in The Purge when they're like, damn, everybody's just out here having a block party, having a good ass time. They're not killing nobody. I guess we got to release the goons and the white supremacists. You put the grain out in the streets and it would just be a bloodbath, man.
This also taps into, which is to some degree explored in other episodes, but this taps into Minority Report style shit. Because, well, how do you commit crimes when you got this? You know what I mean? I didn't do it. Pull up the tape.
Right.
Well, you fucked now. You fucked.
There's got, what's the idea of the grainless society, right? But it seems like everybody has it. So how do you really function? And
like, I got 100 eyewitnesses watching you, and I got your thing showing.
I got
you doing it.
I got you doing it.
I got. And by the way, I can prove motive. Look at you, 8:00 in the morning. Look at that. You're buying gloves at the store.
Now
you're buying a knife over here.
What would be fascinating is, can you recover the deleted memories? Right. Like if I do crime, like if I'm a serial killer, I have to delete a lot. Right. Not just the actual serial killing itself, but the disposing of the body, the research, the safe house. Right. Like it's very transformative technology in many respects, where literally now everything is sort of, incriminating me in a way. But if I can expunge those memories, you got it. Somebody absolutely has a jailbreak brain. They got jailbreak iPhones. You tell me they don't have a jailbreak brain? Come on, man. You're crazy.
Well, I mean, they do. In the context of the show, it is strongly implied that you can forever delete things.
Right. I mean, that's why he goes
but
to
obviously
Jonas's house.
I'm probably going the same place you're going, which is, but there's a cloud. The company's still going. You might not have it on your device, but it ain't gone, is it?
Is a memory ever gone? Is a memory ever gone? I don't know. That's fucked up.
And how much does it fuck with your, like, can you remember anything at all?
Right.
Without that, how much does it, you pull that out? Do you remember anything? Or is the years that you're wearing that fucking...
You gone. Everything about the grain unsettles me, to be very, very candid.
Again, icky from the jump.
Yeah, not great. As a technical... I'm probably watching this, hopefully the exact opposite as a Sam Altman, who is like, that's great. We got to get more of these out the streets.
Yeah. I like that little remote thing they got. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a couple more pendants, a couple more of these grains, we'll be cooking.
Yeah, there's a reason why it seemed... My memory is that there's quite a few episodes of Black Mirror that use this tech.
This is becoming, so this is sort of, this is
like a background tech device that's in the Black Mirror universe.
Yeah, it's the same thing with, as you know, we will encounter with the Christmas episode, right? With the cookie. You have some of this early technology that gets established here. And I think, there's that sense of life logging, right? Which is now very much so a part of our way of life. And you see some of this stuff, as you jump to the one that has Dallas Bryce Howard in it, right? The tracking and the score and all that stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
The later Netflix ones or the newer ones. So, I mean, I think it's interesting how a very early episode, and the one that we both kind of are identifying here as sort of the DNA of the series really beginning to establish itself, has the more technological elements that become a huge part of this, right? Where you see some of this, you see the memories start to come in White Bear, right? With some of that and how they play with that as well too. And I think it's just a really fucked up thing where, a memory can be extracted, and the way you can extract a person and put them in a cookie and all this stuff, where you start to get into the more dystopian tech thing where you're like, oh man, this is pretty bleak. Pretty bleak.
I mean, there's a reason they keep going back to this well of, like, let's just say that technology exists. Now, let me show you another way that this is fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, and that's the thing about this one, right? Is that we are now flooded in this whole era of, more and more wearable technology. And some of them have cameras, some of them have recordings, their microphones or whatever. But I think it's a increasing societal problem of, can you move into a space without being captured in some degree by some device, by someone in an unwanted fashion, right? And that's going to have to be regulated at a much more macro level. Can't be left up to individuals, because you're going to get thrown out the bowling alley, son, if you're coming in here with the Meta glasses and ain't nobody trying to have you recording that shit. You know what I mean? You have to function, like you said. You coming in with the friend pendant?
It's still rude to do this.
Yeah.
Thank God.
It is.
It's still rude to hold up your phone, camera facing out. At least for people my age, I don't know.
It's still...
Is that like,
I think so.
Is that the case at like a 13-year-old? No, we all just stand around holding our phones like that. You know what I mean? I don't know about you. I've caught a few times in my life where I look over and I'm like, I'm definitely being recorded by that person who pretends to look at something up on their phone.
Doesn't have that? Yeah. Have that concern where someone's recording you and doing something. Yeah, we're all out there in some different way. And it's a weird place to live in where you're in the panopticon every single day in, increasingly various levels. But hell of an episode, though. Hell of an episode.
Absolutely. Yeah. 4.5 from me.
I gave it a 5. I gave it a 5 because I feel like it is... I think I give it the 5 because I love the fact that it establishes some of the larger world building. And then I think it is just so perfectly just bleak and miserable in the ending. And it's one of those things where you're watching and you go, okay, how are we going to land the plane? Like, there's no way this ends well. We are well past the stage that this ends in a okay fashion. This has got to be absolutely tragic.
You start off pretty bleak. You can't all of a sudden be like, okay, now it's sunshine and rainbows.
And that's where you're like, how much bleaker can we get? And, having
8 seasons
never stopping. But specifically, I meant, him in the house, right? Just in the empty house, rewatching memories of the family that he, this is your fault, that he never had, that he lost, that he drove away from himself, right? And then literally
watching all the times that he didn't notice she was smiling at the time, didn't appreciate it. And he's like, man, the villages I would slaughter to see that again right now with my own, not this fucking thing.
Yeah. Right. And now I'm going to take it out no matter what happens, right? Going blind or not. He ain't got no hospital money. He's willing to just gamble on, I can't live like this. It's so fucking perfectly just depressing as an entity. And, absolutely one of the favorites, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely way up there. It's the one, it sticks with you. I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
What Black Mirror at its best is not just sticks with you, but you cannot. The best episodes of Black Mirror you cannot watch without a conversation. You want to talk about it with other people. You want to you don't want to live in that world, but you definitely want to I got to talk to people about this, which is again why
other people. That's why this one came rolling into your boy's inbox here. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to dig into season 2. I will absolutely, I'm not going to tell you which one, but there is at least one 5-star episode in there.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a 5-star in there. Yeah. I mean, for me, yes.
Yeah. So, chatting Black Mirror, one of my favorite things to do, as you know.
Hey, a great pastime. It's a great national pastime. Pick your nation, put it in there.
And if for some reason you're listening to this episode and you didn't watch these episodes, even with the spoilers, it's worth going back and watching them.
Sure, yeah. But and get ahead right now. Get ahead right now. You very small pool of individuals. This is your chance to chart a new course.
Yeah.
Go listen. Be best.
All right. We're going to end on be best.